could this be one of the simplest tips to transform your game? Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson. Welcome back to Get Good at Golf. On this channel we aim to help you get good at golf just one day at a time. All you need for this drill is a tee peg. Now this is something which we've seen quite a lot. We've seen it on YouTube, we've seen it in magazines. Could it work? Could this stop you finding the club open? Could it help you hit longer iron shots, straighter iron shots, better golf shots, and ultimately get good at golf? So you'll see, guys, that in your grip there is a little hole at the end there. That is designed to have just let airflow through it, so when you put the grips on you can get them on, but we're going to use it for something a little bit different. We're going to pop a tee peg in the end here, and essentially what that does now is it acts as just a little reminder of how we need to take this club away, because so many people will take the club away and fan the club open here, and you see that that actually acts as a bit of a reminder, as we said, as to how to take the club away. So I want to use this as a reference point now. So as I take the club away, I want this pointing just down the line here on the way back. You'll see that club face is nice and square. I've not got it fanned open, I've not got it too close, because then it's going to point at my body. If I fan it open, then it's going to point a little bit outside the target line here, nicely on plane. And then as I take it back, I want it pointing down at the golf ball. As I go up to the top of the backswing, you can see it's going to be pointing again down that target line, but reverse. Then on the way through, we're going to go through those stages again all the way through. And actually, because it's a little bit longer, as you can see there, I have to move my hip out of the way in order to get the strike that I want. I'm using a 2-iron here. You can start using this with a wedge. Chris is going to show you some really good tips how this can help your short game and even putting in this video. We'll kick things off with off the tee, because it's a really nice little reminder, and people have been known to drop a lot of shots off their handicap just by making sure they know what's happening with that club face. So again, I'm going through, I'm thinking, right, is that right? I can take my left hand off just to check there, and because it's luminous yellow, it actually acts as, again, a little bit more of a reminder than just having the grip of the butt there. Right, through the positions, and a really nice straight golf shot there. I managed to square the club face up. I've managed to pressure that golf ball exactly where I want it. And again, here on Get Good at Golf, we're starting to listen to what we're telling you, and we hit better shots. Chris will agree with this as well. As soon as we simplify things, our game gets better. Hopefully this can help your game get better too. Okay guys, so a great drill for you to get your irons crisper, also a great drill around the greens. Now we're going to look at big dog, we're going to look at driver. How can this drill help you hit longer drives, you ask? So essentially, to hit longer drives, we want club head speed. That's going to transfer into ball speed, and then from there, hopefully hit long drives. Now, to get club head speed, we want a wide arc, we want a long lever system, and this can really help us do that, because look how luminous that tee is. I want the widest arc possible on the backswing there. I don't want that club to work up and be a really short arc. I want really wide out here, and you can see that tee peg is pointing down the line again. So very similar to what we did with the iron drill. From there, I can load up to the top of the backswing. You can see how I've gone a little bit tense in the voice because I'm actually coiling up. If I was just to pick that club up to the top of the swing, I could keep talking to you all day long like this, because I'm not coiling, there's no width in the arc, and there's no speed being generated. So take that back nice and wide. You can see that I've still got a little bit of flex in the right arm, and from there you can hit. I'll tell you what, that could be on the green. That is wonderful. A nice wide arc, plenty of club head speed, plenty of ball speed, resulting in a nice long drive down the fairway. And if you have my eye out then, and then if you put all those things together, you could drop shots off your handicap. Chris has now got a really good drill for you using this method with a putter, so don't go anywhere.
Pack of salt. Never know. Never know, do you? So we're talking short game now, and we're talking the same drill with this tee. So I want to use this tee again in the end of your wedge, exactly the same. We're going to pop that in there. That's going to be nice and solid. So one thing we see a lot in chipping is a lot of people get a forward press. We really can't see that. Start to dig that leading edge in, and we get no kind of contact. So we've got to think with short game, what are we doing with the club head? What is the club head doing? Is it the body? Is it the hands? Is it the arms? A lot of people are not sure. Because what we also start to see is then this kind of motion with that tee peg. Not much body rotation, it's all wrist there. We're trying to flick the ball and help the ball into the air, and that's when we start to get the low point maybe here before, we're working on the way up, we hit the middle of the ball, the next time it digs in, next time we drag that club head, and we're not starting to get any kind of consistency with the strike. So what we want to see when we are chipping is that if I make a motion, my body is going to rotate, and you'll see how that tee will remain in the middle of that triangle in my arms. So we'll not start to see that disappear throughout the motion. I should be able to see that constantly. If I turn my chest, you'll see then I'm getting a consistent arc, I'm going to get a consistent strike, and from here, if I set up normally to this golf ball, make a simple motion, you will see there in the finish, you can still see that tee, and that's where the club is finished. I've not flicked my wrist, I've not ended up here, I've ended up that right in the middle, and you'll see there with the strike, that again has come out of the centre of the club. Not the club for the shot, I've only got my 56, for some reason I've left the 52 at home, but now you'll see if I want to play a lob shot, if I had a short-sided shot, I can still get that club face open and play a similar motion. So an extended putting motion, I can get that club open, play the same motion, and you'll see there to a nice short-sided flag. That would have been good. But if I bring that back, you'll see that's right in between the middle of my arms. So if you're struggling, and right in the middle of the club face. So if you're struggling with short game, start to think, get down there, get into your normal posture and see, right, yeah, I can see that's closer to my left pocket, that's behind my arm, that's taking loft off, that's encouraging the leading edge, that's going to make it hard to get a strike. But we also see people who are back here, they think, I've got to get loft on, and that might be back towards your right arm for a right-handed golfer, but that's not going to be in a great position. That's going to always encourage missed strikes. You might have one day when your timing's on and your timing's perfect, but if we can get you consistently getting that in the middle, when we want to get weight left and everything forward, we do that all together. So you see when people say get your weight left-sided, everything goes together, but that remains in the middle of that triangle. From here I can still make that motion and get that ball coming out with the correct launch, the correct spin, and that's going to then get me as close to the hole as I want. So great point there from James. So we've covered your driver, we've covered your irons, we've covered short game. Now we want to talk about putting. So the final part, and in my eyes the most important. The tee is in there again, and a lot of people will say, yeah, this is very similar to short game, but we're going to take it to the next level. So we can get in there.
The next level?
The next level, we're not messing around today. So we can get in there and start to see, right, do you have much movement on that? Are you somebody who's very wristy? Are you a forward presser? What are you doing with your putting stroke? We then can use a second golf ball. We're going to pop that on your wrist, so you can see how we can get that resting on the tee with a little bit of pressure. And now what I want to do is make strokes keeping that pressure. If I have any kind of movement, this is going to give me real feedback. If I was to hit this and release the head too much and start to be a little bit wristy, I'm going to see that that ball is going to fall straight away. Yes, that one nearly went in. That means it might be a day where, I've struck it well, it's gone close. The next one might rock it off and go 6 feet past.
Dynamic loft.
And that is controlling the dynamic loft. That's going to add loft on there. Sometimes it'll bobble, sometimes it'll check. We don't know how fast that is going to come off. So when I hit a putt with it back in there, I should start to see that when I hold my finish, that is still in there. It's going to add a little bit of pressure to the tee. The tee will move, but you'll see I can just make a couple of motions. Then I'm going to drop that ball and I'm going to hit that putt feeling that same kind of motion. Start to feel I'm a little bit more positive. So guys, that's one simple drill with a tee that you can use throughout your game to help you get good at golf.
3 peaks.
3 peaks are here. Oh, that one is a big peak.
It is, isn't it? Big old peak.